and I'm not letting it happen either. We have a president whose son's laptop from hell gets taken over and exposes massive corruption like nobody's seen before. And then the FBI goes and convinces the media that it's all nonsense. Don't believe it. Don't believe it. All disinformation. And they say, don't worry about that. Let's go after Trump. Trump. Let's get Trump. I sold something in New Hampshire. I said, the son goes to the father. He says, Dad, they got the craziest guy. He's running this store to fix laptops. And I gave him my laptop. And he's really gone wild, Dad. He's saying bad things about me, really bad. He's saying bad stuff, but what's he saying, son? Tell me, what's he saying? What do they say about me? Well, it's exposed every single crime that you've ever committed, Dad. Then I say, at some point, doesn't Biden have to say this son thing is not working out well? I mean, if you think, you guys are great politicians. At some point, don't you sort of say, like, this whole deal with the son, with Hunter, it's not working out great. Not working out great. We have an FBI and a Justice Department that raids a very secure Mar-a-Lago in Florida, placed under lock and key with additional locks added at their request. But then they want nothing to do with Biden's garage, where classified documents are strewn all over a wet floor. Anybody know much about garages? Those floors get very damp and wet. So you can just imagine. And then it turned out today, they just announced that house was used as Hunter Biden's office to deal with foreign countries. Can you believe it? Oh, you didn't hear that? They got a bigger charge than I thought. Most people, they're so used to this corruption, there's not much of a charge. You go, yes, 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 every day in America has become April Fool's Day. This is what it feels like, because I could go over, I could do this all day long. We could say things. It's just the opposite. They do just the opposite of common sense. People think of Henry as a conservative, and he's conservative, but he's basically a man of common sense. I think we all are. We're men of common sense and women of common sense, because this is really common sense. It's not about party. They're doing things that destroy our country, that are so obvious. 2 years ago, we had that great energy independence, and it was surrendered for no reason. South Carolina families are paying over 50% more for gasoline than they were when I left office, and it's actually much higher than that. We were at $1.87 a gallon, and now, think of it, now we're at $4, $5. California's still at $7, but it's going up. They use the National Reserve. I filled up the National Reserves. I did that because we had so much. I made one miscalculation. I got them so incentivized. They were producing so much gasoline, they were going to all go out of business. And the prices were going down. Remember when you could get a barrel of oil for nothing, and they'd give you $37, but you had to take it away. So it was no good for the Wall Street guys, because they're like carrying barrels of oil. But we had a period of time, but we were producing it like never before. And we created something that nobody's ever seen. We would have been at a level that nobody's ever seen before. But just as I did before, I will unleash America's vast energy resources. Those guys can start up quickly. It will also, by the way, knock the hell out of inflation. Inflation was caused by energy. Energy is very, very big, very powerful, very all-invasive. This is a big thing, energy. And when you're a chef and you're cooking, or when you have a store and you're doing something, or when you're sending trucks around to deliver things, or whatever you're doing, it's so much energy, the cost of the energy. And that cost was up 50, 60, 70%, 80%. It was going up like crazy. And don't forget, it's artificially known. Now it's starting to inch up again very rapidly, actually, because he took the strategic national reserves that I built up, and he took everything out. And now it's at the lowest level. I just read that it has been in 40 years, 42 years. So this is crazy. That's supposed to be used for war, for our protection. It's not supposed to be used to get gasoline prices down for an election, which is what they did. Well, thank you. I love you too. But we handed Biden a great economy, the fastest economic recovery ever recorded. It was the fastest ever recorded, but now families are being crushed with real wages down 21 months in a row. As president, it will be my personal mission to put a secure middle-class lifestyle within the reach of every single South Carolina family, and we'll do it easily. We're going to beat inflation rapidly. Rapidly. You know, the one thing is it's not as easy as it would have been because it was what caused it was energy. Now everything is causing inflation, Henry, everything. But to beat inflation, we will stop the government spending insanity. $1.7 trillion just approved, and we'll rebuild the greatest economy in the history of the world. And I did it before, and I'll do it again, and it won't even be difficult. It's not even going to be difficult. And we will be respected, because we were respected as a country. You know, they did a poll that I wasn't as popular in Germany as Obama. Of course I wasn't, because, I mean, if anybody that wins those polls is not doing a good job for the United States. And we both got big crowds, but they wanted to see who's more popular. And the German people, great people, they said, this guy has really beaten us up. No, we make them pay because they took advantage of us on trade, and so does every country. There's not a country that didn't. But we renegotiated USMCA, we renegotiated all of our trade deals and making a fortune. And the greatest deal I made, I can't even talk about it. It's the deal we made with China. The farmers took in $50 billion worth of purchases where they were taking in nothing. And I got $28 billion from the Chinese to give to our farmers because they took advantage of our farmers for years. And I got them to pay $28 billion directly to our farmers. And nobody believed that was possible. And on the border, I really like the president of Mexico, who happens to be a socialist, you know. We've missed socialism because our Democrat Party and others, they never stopped. You know, the train never stopped. It's supposed to stop at socialism. It just passed. So we're down to Marxism and communism, okay? It never stopped. But I said to him, President, we have to have 28,000 soldiers guarding our border. He said, we can't do that. I said, you have to do that. And I said, 28,000 soldiers. And we also have to stay in Mexico. Everybody has to stay in Mexico. I can't do that. You got to do that. Then he sent a representative. He laughed at me when I said it. He said, no, we can't do that. We won't do that. I said, you have to do it. And if you don't do it, we're going to charge you a 25% tax on every single product you sell to the United States. And he said, could I get back to you in 5 minutes? I'd like to make one call. I think that might have been to the president. And he made the call, and he said, it would be our honor to give you 28,000 free soldiers. It would be our great, great honor to allow you to stay in Mexico for millions of people. Millions and millions of people. You remember that one. Unlike Biden, who's wasting hundreds of billions of dollars on the Green New Deal, I will send South Carolina the world-class infrastructure that you truly need. Just as I ensured that Charleston was the deepest water port on the East Coast. We took care of it. That was us, right? We took care of it. You got the best, the deepest. You know, we had a sign up there that said, dig we must. Forget about everything. Dig we must. They're saying, oh, no, there was a snail there. I said, that's all right. We'll work that out. But you have the deepest port by far on the East Coast. And that was a big thing. I assume that had a big, that's great, right?